Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Vibranium Project. This is Josh, and again I'm joined here with Kynan, Tyrone, and Raimi. So today we're going to have a look at the rise of technology in the workplace. So it's a topic that's been coming up over and over again in different parts of lives, and I guess we have a little bit of experience in the workplace now. So it's something that we thought we might tackle. We've had a little bit of research and have a look around. So let's have a look and delve into this today. We'll have a look at different aspects of it, what's sort of happening in the workplaces right now, have a look at so what's good about it, what's bad, and we'll see where that goes. So first up, I'm going to throw it over to Remy. You've probably been in the workplace the longest out of all of us. So what are your experiences? What have you seen? Give us a breakdown of that.
So guys, technology, it's a funny thing. I think I first started noticing the rise or the topic of technology really coming to the workplace probably about 2 years ago. And back then the idea was really to first try to automate those tasks which can be done, which are repetitive. You hear these buzzwords like mundane and stuff. So that was the idea. Since then, I've seen the firms which I've worked at, big consulting firms, where they've tried to invest a lot of money, and to a large extent, it's been a flop. And what we thought together would be good to talk about is what sort of technology is available. So from what I've seen, there's basically three main technologies. There's robot process automation, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Now, guys, before we speak to the guys about this, what these basically mean. So a robot process automation technology is something which can complete tasks which are mundane or repetitive. So things like data clerk entry, those sorts of things. Machine learning is a bit more complicated. That can go into a data dump. It can look for certain aspects and pull out data. And then artificial intelligence is something which has critical analysis almost. That's a bit more of a scary topic. Now, before I go into this in any more detail, I'm going to talk to Tyrone, Kynan, and Shi and just ask, have you guys heard about any of these sort of technologies in your industries? Maybe, again, just tell everyone what sort of industry you guys are in before you go ahead and say what you've seen and what you've heard.
Can I just ask a question first? So, would you say, just in general, in human existence, technology has kind of been furthering along at a steady rate until quite recently, which it has exacerbated the growth of technology?
I think so, mate. Now, when we say recently, I think in my mind I sort of think of the 1900s
like
onwards.
150 years, maybe.
Yeah. I think the big crux of it all was maybe when you look at Henry Ford and when they started with that sort of stuff, the assembly line, those sorts of things. It has been a long while. I think technology has really tried to hit the blue collar jobs, and now it's coming towards the white collar. That's what I've seen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it is a bit different now because now your output, as opposed to being an actual product, a good, is now a service, something a bit more intangible. So this is where things are becoming a bit different, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah, let's get back to you.
Let's start with you. Let's start with you because I think that was a good question. So in your industry, mate.
Okay, so I've a few different backgrounds, but okay, let's say we're talking about my background as in bar service. Then my actual job, no, the technology isn't furthering kind of thing, but there are places where it is. So such as, I guess, you talked to me a bit earlier about the drones that can be used to wait on people rather than using waiters. Like, that's pretty crazy. Like,
do you think it's because of the fact there's such a big human aspect to your job? Like, people will. I assume a lot of people might come to you because they like talking to you. They like the way you treat them.
So, like, if you do talk about the drones, well, okay, people might go to a place that specializes kind of in that because it's not like an everyday thing that you see in every kind of place at a bar or a restaurant, but people will go there for the novelty of it. But yeah, people do want that human interaction. That's why they do go to bars and restaurants kind of thing.
Having conversation.
Like, you can eat at home, or you can buy your own beers or alcohol or whatever kind of drinks that you drink.
Yeah.
And you can take that home and you can drink that by yourself or with your family, but to have that human interaction with like mates or like that bartender that you can sit at the bar with
becomes your mate
to. Yeah. And you can have genuine conversations with that person too.
Mm-hmm. I'll leave Tyrone for last. Josh, why don't you sort of tell me what sort of examples you've seen or what you've heard in your industry? Well, what is the industry again, just so guys know?
So I do a lot of customer service work at the moment currently, and I think I've seen, as you mentioned before, a lot of that blue collar and white collar kind of mixing between the two, and throughout different types of jobs that I've had within customer service, and it rises from like little things to a lot of bigger things. You know what I mean? So, for example, if you have to, let's say, for example, I've seen this happen. Let's say when we all call up your bank, or let's say you call up your phone company, right? Who's the first person you talk to? You don't actually talk to a person, do you?
Yeah.
Talk to a machine.
You get that if you'd like to talk to this, please press 1.
Press 1, 2.
Press
I love
2.
the American accent.
So that's one sense of that I've seen, right? But remember, at the end of the day, who's the final person you talk to? It's an actual person,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Do you know what I mean? So there's still that human interaction within that customer service role.
Yeah, so the common thing I've noticed with these two is both people serving front office,
Yep.
so to speak, types of people. So I think it'd be very... it wouldn't make sense for business to really hit those roles. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I was just gonna, I guess, to wrap that up, including what you're saying. I think it's getting to a point at the moment where they've had a good mix of the two. So they'll have those automation parts and those parts to make it better, but at the end of the day, you still need that human interaction, especially in those customer service roles.
That what you were referring to before about that machine picking up your phone first and directing you to the relevant menu, that's been there for a while. So it sounds like it hasn't really progressed that much in the recently. Oh, am I wrong in saying that?
Not too much.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty much what's happened today. I mean, I think at the end of the day, they've just kind of developed different avenues and things like that. So I do know if you're trying to contact Apple, I think another way that they've done that is you can go to the website and request somebody to call you back from Apple. So somebody from Apple will call you.
Yep.
So that's one of the ways. It's just different ways of the same thing.
I see.
So what Raimi just asked with the that first initial contact is that automated part. Do you think that is definitely required? Because if you ask my opinion, it is required because that's kind of a redundant job for a person, and it's kind of just a waste of time to have someone just to ask those questions or what kind of problem or question do you have in regards to your reason to call.
I do agree with what you're saying, but there is also an element of there's still human error associated with that, right? So let's say, for example, it's like, press 1, then press 2 and press 3, right?
Yeah.
What if you don't really understand what your issue is, all right? And you go to the wrong place? Then that basically happens as, you've gone somewhere, and then now that person has wasted their time trying to redirect you. So if you talk to me first and you be like, this is what's happening, and I have an idea of what it is, I direct you in the right place straight away, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to you've gone here, and then it's like, okay, this is your real issue here.
Yeah.
I'll take you this way. So
A lot that I've talked to, or not talked to, but like rung, have had like a general inquiries one.
Yeah.
Not all of them do. So do you think that they just all should have a general inquiries one, just in case you don't know where you should be heading to when you're...
Yeah, something along the lines of like, I have no idea what my issue is, but something's wrong. Please help.
Yeah.
Two things before moving on to Tyrone. Just on what you guys said. I think first thing, general inquiries could be abused by people like me, because I'll be like, because you don't want to waste your head. Second thing is the most annoying thing about those sort of robots trying to understand what you want is when they don't understand what you're saying.
100%.
So that's irritating. So the reason why I left Tyrone last is because me and him in the same industry, different service lines, different areas of expertise, but same industry. So it'll be interesting to see what Tyrone's experience. So, mate, whatever you found in accounting or business advisory, what sort of technology have you seen come through?
I think the biggest thing is automatic bank feeds. That's sort of wiped out, bookkeepers. I'm sorry if you're a bookkeeper listening to this, but they've had to adapt to that. There's no more, give me the bank statement. Here's the accounting software. All right, the 1 July. $5 went in. $5, all right. There's no data entry anymore. There's that automatic bank feeds, and you're gonna be required to sort of keep up with those sort of changing technologies. And another one that's coming up now is blockchain technology, where there is the audit evidence, there is the audit trail, and what's going to happen is, we had like a little firm update sort of / end of your financial year party at around June, and one of the biggest things was they just kept harping on about technology and the fact that it will change not my service line, but the fact that it will change the audit service line, and that
audit quality.
Yeah.
And so, for example, blockchain, there is no, it's like, is it existence or whatnot, and you know what I mean? It's all there. The documents are there. You don't have to see a bank, whatever like that. You had a question, Kyle?
Yeah. Well, when you said that you got to keep up with these change of technologies, I think it's kind of hard for like everyone as a whole to keep up with this. So like if you're talking about who I work for, it's a small business and we have a bookkeeper, and I know bookkeepers back in the day and still do when they are used can get paid quite a lot of money.
Oh yeah, like I worked with a bookkeeper that gets paid like 100 grand, and I'm just like, huh?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like their hourly rate is quite high for someone that...
So kind of two things. One question for you, one question for Tyrone. Question for you is, mate, it's not a question, more a statement. Yeah. Smaller businesses tend to be the last in technology, I've found. So they're going to be really lagged behind because they can't afford the investment.
It's totally true.
Yeah. But in saying that, I worked on some pretty big listed clients who, if it's...
Shoebox.
Are you saying that are behind in
they use Shoebox for technology. Excel's the main thing. So I can see where you're coming from, but I think it's going to be a big lag, because the thing about technology, guys, is you have this human psychology. Humans don't generally like change, and when change is introduced, they're going to be they don't really want to support it or go or really. There's resistance usually, I've found in my workplace.
It's because humans are used to routine,
yes,
and they don't like to change.
They don't like
ritualistic animals. We are.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Second thing, Tyrone, is investment. Right, so your firm, has there been much investment in technology?
Yeah. There's this new audit software where the new audit partner has sort of put in from his previous firm, and mate, if that sort of goes on track where it was supposed to go, you know what I mean, that's just, they're gonna, like, grad auditors listening, I'm sorry, but choose another service line. Because
I'm going to come back to that, because that's very important what you said.
Because you're going to become reviewers at the point. Sorry, kind of has a question.
I don't have a lot of knowledge in this area. Yeah. So where you say your company is investing a lot in technologies rather than investing it in kind of human work, are they saving money in the long run?
Correct.
Investing in technology rather than people.
They can invest one graduate auditor's salary into this sort of technology.
Yeah.
And that's like
that technology will last longer than just that 1 year of someone's salary. Yeah. Okay.
I see. My experience has been different. So where I worked that particular firm invests technology. So
you were on the technology team as well, weren't you?
No.
Put it up,
no, they're separate. No, so the team I was in was a tax team. We looked after. We did a mixture of work, but there was a new dedicated tax technology team that came out.
Were you part of it all?
No, that was separate, mate. They were mostly IT people who probably couldn't tell you anything about tax. That's what I guess we're there for.
Fair enough.
So Tyrone's hit this point twice. Kyan asked a question, and what I want to say is this. So Kyan was asking investing technology, what's that resulted for firms? And so Tyrone's firm has found there's been advantages for auditors, and he also made the point that he thinks auditors should think twice. So when he wants to get to audit, think twice. I think auditors should think twice even before technology came.
Yeah, that's totally different reasons.
Guys,
counting pennies.
I'm
sorry, guys.
No, don't be sorry. That's just the way things are. So what we found, so where I used to work, they did this huge push on technology. They try to automate this process, this big process, big part of the job that I work in. What they found was the whole thing, in theory, was great. Practically, it was a complete flop. What happened then was they found that people with 4 to 5 years experience, so where I am, I guess, there was a shortage in the whole city. Forget the firm. whole city of those people with that skill set, and it still is, and it's going to remain like that now.
Is there too many of the people that aren't so experienced?
No, because they're trying to fill that up now. So so what this has caused is a lot of work for people at my level, a shortage of people with our skill set. So I think what I've noticed is where firms invest in technology, theoretically you could knock over a lot of things, but practically it's very difficult. And I'll touch on that soon. Jashir.
Oh yeah, I was just going to ask the question, like, why do you think that is, or why is that huge gap there?
So the huge gap there of the skill set.
Yeah.
So the reason is the firm started recruiting less people about 5 years ago
Because of automation.
They thought they could automate a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, they thought they could.
They thought they
and
could.
then they realised that it's...
You thought, nigga,
Yeah.
you thought.
And there's a couple of reasons why these sorts of things happen. One is if you're going to automate something, you got to automate the process from A to Z. My firm was looking to automate from, say, you could say M to Z, right, halfway through. So you got to be able to grab the whole process, automate the whole thing. Second thing is, where there's human interaction associated with something, that again is very different, because if you're going to pick up workings or calculations in a service-based industry done by person B, another one done by person A, the way they derive those calculations is very different, the setup, and our current technology it's not advanced enough to be able to differentiate between the two aspects. Jashir?
I think, I guess to sum up what we've said so far, I think there's a general consensus between us that there are limitations on technology in the workplace, and I think especially when you consider the customer front or human to human interaction, I think that's where the key lies, right? As to where the limitations are within technology itself. That leads me to pose the question out there: what are the limitations? What are the implications of technology in the workplace, or what are some advantages? So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I can kick things off. Limitations. So one of the biggest limitations is when you're using software, because software is generally where I found automation to come from.
Yeah.
Clunky. When the software is clunky, people who want to use it get pissed off, and they just want to get it done. So when I used to work, we had different managers. Some managers were very fond of using a software for the reasons it was built and to milk out its I guess efficiencies. Well, that's what I thought.
So it's clunky because they're using the first version of this software, whereas they're not trialing it enough to try and build on it before they're mass producing it.
Not necessarily, mate. So this software was used for about 12 years.
Okay.
The reason why it was clunky was two things. A, it was overly complicated itself, so not everyone was across the functionalities of it.
Yeah.
And B, so when I was referring to before, when you try to automate a process, you got to do A to Z.
Yeah.
That was doing M to Z. So when you have this data coming in, which is not in a format which the software can't read easily, then it starts causing a lot of headaches. And we're talking about Excel workbooks with that 3 gigabytes. Then you start 3 gigabyte. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man, that's it. So that's when complexity start coming in.
I think that same thing has come across when you look at other industries as well. Like, so when I used to work in a supermarket, one of the first things you look at is they build machineries to, like, for example, like slice meat, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that will come in from the old traditional chopper with a knife, right? And that's come in as a thing that people haven't liked, or there have been other issues, but it's generally been accepted though. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, so maybe they haven't been trained enough, but there are people who, as you said, disagree with the technology. But then there are a lot of cases where people have enjoyed. I mean, slicing ham, for example, the time to slice ham has exponentially got less as opposed to slicing it manually with a knife, just by the machines.
I think, mate. Do you want to say something?
Yeah. So rather than like not being taught the proper way to do it, or the best way to do it using this new technology, or in your case what you're talking about, software, would it be easier to just... I know technology is far enough advanced to have simple software to take out the hardest parts, to, like, surely a developer that knows what exactly should be done can develop the software that takes out the complications and just gets the job done that this software that you already have would produce.
There's a few things there, mate. Again, this is specific to me. So working like income tax specialist teams, tax law is always changing. So software, if that can't keep up with the tax law changes,
Okay.
That's one thing. So there's always big changes.
Software's always being updated, so can someone
Too grey. The interpretation of the law.
Okay.
But let's just say we have a perfect world, and that's not an issue, though.
Yeah.
But second thing is, mate, when you have people who have done things for anywhere between, because generally you work with people with 8 years to 30 years experience. If they've done something for 8 to 30 years, they sort of don't want to break that pattern.
Yeah, because of the routine that we talked about before.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Third thing is, you have metrics which... So, Tyrone, you can go. You can talk a bit about this. Budgets, timesheets, and billing.
Oh, don't even get me started.
So if you have managers who are measured on the metrics on that, they don't want to. So when I speak about budget and stuff, so they got an allocated number of hours which are got to and the whole job can't cost X amount or more than X amount. If you've got time where you're trying to figure out this technology, even for the first 2 years, then it's gonna eat into their budget. They're going to look worse on their metrics. Then their bosses are going to come hit them. They're going to go hit their juniors. So there's a lot of other aspects, I think, which impact this. Contributing factors. Yeah.
So I guess to say, I guess one of the implications that you're trying to basically say is when you implement new technology or automation for that matter, there are a lot of issues surrounding, the training of it or like the implementation of it itself, and a lot of people suffer. So I guess, are you trying to say that by implementing those technologies, you are also hurting, I guess, people and the industry at the same time while you implement that process?
Big time. And again, this is because this is service-based. Service-based is different to producing tangible goods, because tangible goods, you can sort of shoot things out quicker, with service-based. Tyrone,
the operator really needs to have an input of what's going to happen, how the end product is going to look like at the end. So I went to a QT, like IT capstone thing that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And, mate, they had this thing called should have, must have, and could have. And, look, if I was, if this tax software that you were talking about, or the software that I'm using at the moment, there's little changes I could be like, oh, well, instead of going through this way, why don't you just put it, here and whatnot, you know what I mean? And it'd make it much easier to access, and those budgets, it would be much easier to sort of attain. Now, in saying that, it's not a perfect world, and even if I said this, it's accustomed to how I work. It's not accustomed to how Raimi works.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me. Even if I was to go in, like it's because it's service based. It's
too many specific aspects from the input
much
to the output, right? That's the issues which I've seen.
I think, I guess, the other aspect, because we predominantly looked at, I guess, from a white-collar perspective, right? Mm-hmm. There's seen a lot of success, especially within, like, the factory industries and building machines. Like, for example, like the automotive industry, right? Building cars. The amount of time that it takes to build a car has significantly decreased, right? And they've seen a lot of it because it's a lot of cost-cutting, like the labor cost. Like, for example, in Australia, wages are very expensive.
They
know
bullshit
what I mean?
hard.
Yeah, so as you mentioned earlier, if you take that cost of what a salary is and you invest that in technology, in the long term, you're definitely saving a lot of money.
Yeah, and kind of on the same wavelength that you're thinking, when it comes to like tradies too, we haven't looked at that. There's so many technologies that are being improved, like just with their tools, like electronic tools, power tools and that, where it's not actually taking people's jobs, which is a good thing because we need tradies, but their jobs are becoming a lot safer and easier because of the technology, drills are better, saws are better, kind of thing. Electric saw rather than a manual saw. Still need the operator, but it's safer and easier to use and quicker too.
Yeah. I think you make a good point there, kind of. I think where technology from a workplace point of view has to be is to get that balance between the human aspect and technological aspect, because at the present point in time, and I'd say for quite a while, we're not at the point where we can eliminate humans. No. I think they need to come together, but at the same time, I don't know how much further you can take technology. When we were talking before, you had this really good example in the health industry.
Yes, with the recovery.
Yeah, so this might be a good advantage to sort of highlight to our listeners of technology.
Yeah. Okay. So the way that people heal, they need blood flow to that area of the body, and there is this technology where they stimulate the muscle to contract, or something like up to 600 times each second, and that promotes blood flow to that area of the body or that muscle. And an injury that could take, or for anywhere from a week to 6 weeks or more to heal, might only take like 1 or 2 sessions of this muscle contraction, which is only a few hours. So you could basically in 1 or 2 days heal something that would take a multiple amount of weeks to heal that.
Yeah, so it sounds like, so there are obviously advantages to it. So, but I guess someone could pose a question, your sentence, say, like, if they really want to talk about that, could be like, oh, well, you have this, health professional, this has come along and cut X amount of hours from their work, potential loss in wage. Yeah. But then you flip it and say, well, for society overall, it's probably better, right?
Well, yeah, overall it's better. Obviously not for that industry, and it's taking that wage away from, well, a physiotherapist, it would be in this case. But yeah, it is definitely better. But the thing is, this technology at the moment, very expensive. To buy this machine, it's however many thousand. Not anyone can use it. You'd only have your professional athletes that would use
Top
it.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone that's paid a lot of money. And also, once you have the machine that you can use to heal these injuries, they actually ask for a sum of money to teach you how to use the machine.
So it's a cost factor.
And they don't teach you everything. You have to continually pay them a large sum of money.
It's like monthly support fee.
This is as in thousands
license
of
fees?
dollars just for them to show you how to use it. It's not even a license. It's just for them to show you how to use
it's
it.
like a monthly support
but you can,
subscription.
yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
So it's a cost benefit analysis.
Yeah. And like, for you and I, we're not going to use this because even if we get these injuries, we can't afford this.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I guess, and in continuing on from when we're talking about like human error and injuries and stuff like that, I think one other advantage that I've seen is, especially if you look at a lot of industries, taking out that human error perspective, because theoretically machines don't make mistakes. Technologies that are work and proven, they don't make a lot of mistakes, or they make less than human error. Right?
Rubbish in, rubbish out, mate.
Yeah, well,
I was just gonna say,
yeah.
What are you putting in?
Yeah, so one context, yes, but when there's I think you're correct when it's very simple. The execution, the end product is very black and white, but as soon as there's a grey aspect to it, that's
you need machine learning at that point.
You need not even machine learning, you need artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like machine learning, AI, it's sort of teaching itself.
They're two distinct things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Sorry, listen.
So artificial intelligence is something which again is I mean,
IBM Watson.
Even that, like, well, okay, we look at, so guys, IBM Watson, so let me give you an overview of what it is, and then I just want to make a point something out. So IBM Watson is basically a technology which can go and do grad work. It can do a lot of research for an issue which you might have, a legal issue, right? It can gather information for you. Now, let me ask you this. So let me go to, okay, Tyrone and Kine, used to. Kind of. If Tyrone, if you say you got some sort of issue, like a business issue, right? Mm-hmm. If Tyrone goes ahead and gives you a 30-page report and something really technical and just gives it to you and walks out, what good's that to you?
Absolutely none.
All right, Tyrone, let me flip it the other way. Say you got some sort of injury, right? Some sort of injury. Kyne's degree cover that sort of stuff. If you gave you the same thing, 30-page report giving you advice on how to look after yourself and maintain yourself for next year, what good's that to you?
Yeah, not bad. Not good. I'd be like, you should be following me up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, even explaining things, right?
Yeah.
So the point,
there'd be words in there. I'm like,
correct.
That's that.
And no amount of technology can explain that the way that a person can, have correct. That. Hands-on example.
That's
right.
Thing. Right.
Analogies.
Analogies, that sort of thing. So these, what if you really want to spend? I know Watson does this really quick, but you could go and jump onto Google and do research on almost anything these days. A lot of things you learn, they're becoming commodities. So I think that things like Watson are nice. They come in and provide you a very, very fundamental basis of things. But they're not to a point where they can pick up the phone and provide and really explain things. So even
that's where you need the human touch.
That's where you need the human touch. That's where you need the human aspect. Just share.
I guess building on that human touch aspect of it, right? So a lot of people have argued with this whole automation in the workplace sort of thing. The whole argument of it all, a lot of people are saying is machines replacing humans, right? But I did read this article which talked a lot about, especially in referring to white collar workers. So there was a specific example of within the legal industry, right, using the white collar example, and they said, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of the mundane aspects of it were replaced by automated aspects and technology. But at the same time, they argued the fact that a lot of these also created new jobs, new job titles, and they continued to recruit new people in those new roles, or those people who were let go, for example, or would be transferred to a new industry.
Can I be blunt? Give me examples. What professions are they created?
I'm just like, the example I'm using is within the legal industry.
No. What
right?
new titles have resulted from this?
I wouldn't know. I didn't mention in the article.
Yeah,
so
because let me tell you something. There's a lot of journalists who are warriors and think they know a lot of things, but unless they're specialists in a particular area, I think they have their head up their ass, to be honest.
Totally true.
Look. So going again, my previous job was on the Big Four consulting firms. I had two people in a tax technology industry and across all of the country, and even those two people couldn't complete their jobs. I didn't have enough work going around. So there is a lot of over time. When we're talking about a 30 to 40 year projection, there probably will be new jobs and stuff. I agree. At the moment, no, and I don't think it's a short to medium term either. I think a lot of these articles, a lot of people think they know what they're talking about, but unless they're nitty gritty, I don't think they have enough information across them.
But then let's go back to what Tyrone was saying earlier there. Reskilling. What about that though? So you're creating new jobs, but if you train them up, then they can do that job.
There's a cost to reskill.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, and there's time. That's paid time.
Yeah. I assume they've weighed that up when they've done the whole implementing that technology and weighing.
I disagree. Not from my experiences. They don't wait. What happens is everyone thinks theoretically this is a great answer. They put their heads up their backside and then they realize, oh shit, either. Nothing's been successful enough to cause retraining. Look, the certain very minor tasks, yes, have changed. Obviously, computers is probably the biggest. I think if you look at our parents' generations to ours, computers is probably the biggest thing which is coming, right?
There used to be typists.
Typewriter, yeah.
No, the people that just sit there. Typists.
Specialists, right?
Yeah, just type.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what do you do now? Oh shit, I don't. Like, everyone knows how to type now.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not a big industry that's gone.
No.
But
and that's what it's
anyway.
killed off things.
So I think it's more like the tech savvy owners as well,
Yeah.
and the people are becoming more educated as the times progress.
The skill set progresses.
Exactly, which sort of inherently, puts it to put some industries to death.
It'd be interesting. I think we should at some point hit aspects on I think it'd be worthwhile actually, guys, us doing a podcast on technology, really ramping it up and going beyond jobs, and seeing this firstly as like, obviously we've got different views. I don't think it's a threat for at the moment, but it'd be interesting to get a point of view of technology, not just in the workplace, but broadening the scope out into humans and society in general.
I think that's actually a great point that you make there in terms of let's have a little discussion about what the threats are as a bigger whole and as humans. And I think that's a good idea for another podcast. So how about we leave that there for now? Let's end this as part 1 of technology in the workplace, and we'll have a part 2 coming out soon, and we'll have a look at that. Let's use that as a base now, and let's look at the threat as a process, and let's see how that influences.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys. We'll end that there, and we'll be back at you soon.